line. And then we learned that you could turn off killing your teammates, and after the fact, of course. But you know, hindsight's 20/20. What can I say? That was a very delayed laugh. Oh, we have some shenanigans. Okay, so before I add in my cream, I am going to take out some of these. Here's a bowl. I am going to take out some of these potatoes because that's going to be some of our texture. We're going to take some of those out over there. I thought it was a drill thing. I thought it was like a, there's a drill thing. There's a drill thing. Mandy the Gray, oh my gosh. Mandy the Gray, thank you so very much for that sub. I appreciate, oh my gosh, I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, so this is going to add in a little bit of our texture. So I'm taking out about half of the potatoes. And then what are we going to do? We're going to mash these up. We're going to add the immersion blender to this now. We'll still use this for stirring, and then we'll get out our ladle over there. We have all the wonderful shout outs going today, guys. I am so happy about this. What was the other thing there was another thing I was going to work on today, and I forgot what it was. I've got to prepare the cantaloupe. We kind of talked about the talk show. We might get into that a little bit more. Let's do, well, because the bacon is here. If you guys are interested, because I know a lot of people have been here before, but I cure my own bacon. And I'm getting to that point where I need to make some more bacon. So if you guys want to learn how to cure your own bacon, I will do it again on stream. We'll do the initial cure portion first. We will talk about Morton's Tender Quick versus Prague Powder number 1 versus Prague Powder number 2, time, food safety, and then we'll be smoking it off in the smoker. You guys want to do that? Okay. I will plan on picking up a pork belly, probably, I'm going to go with, it will probably be towards the end of July. It'll probably be towards the end of July. So yeah, so I usually pick up about a 12 to 13 pound pork belly. And then and like I said, we'll go over all the safety things of it. Now, a lot of times people ask, I don't have a smoker. If you have a grill, you can actually smoke it on your grill, and we'll talk about that as well. If you don't have a grill, maybe you live in an apartment that you don't have an access to a grill, you can do it in the oven. So you can get your smoked bacon. Oh, obviously the bacon is obviously a word that they know that they're very, it's very cost effective, and here's why. When I go to the store to buy a good quality bacon, now I'm not talking the premium center cut bacon, I find that to be a waste, but unless maybe you're using it for presentation. But when you go to the grocery store and you buy bacon, how much does bacon cost all of you? About a pound. Center cut bacon here runs anywhere between $14.99 and $18.99 a pound. That's 1 pound of bacon. That's 16 ounces of bacon. The regular standard, and now I'm not talking about the cheap stuff, that's bargain brand bacon, because that bacon is not cured. That bacon has just been soaked overnight in salt and liquid smoke, and that's how you're getting the bacon flavor. But if you're buying, you know, good bacon, you are probably paying anywhere between $9 and $12 a pound. I love that, Charlene. That is so cute. I won't do any whistling. We don't want the dog to get like too crazy over that. But it'll cost you anywhere between $9 and $12 a pound. So I can go to Rise Robin. Welcome on in. How are you today? How did you find the channel and where are you watching from? $10 a pound here for the good stuff. There we go. It all depends on where you live. And if you go to like a private butcher, sometimes it can be even more there. So I go to Costco and I get there, well, I used to buy them for 99 cents and then it was $1.99. So I get my pork bellies for about, if they have them on sale, I'll get them for $2.99 and sometimes about $3.59 per pound. So, excuse me. So that's about $3.59, we'll say at the highest. So my bacon per pound is $3.59 per pound. Now there's time involved. The bacon has to cure for anywhere between a minimum of 7 days, upwards of 9 days, no longer than 10 days because you don't have enough nitrites in there to go longer than 10 days. So insofar as doing, so you've got time. So, but it's sitting. Shark Dog coming in with a raid. Welcome on in. It is lovely to see you. Thank you so much for your raid. What were you streaming today?
Come
what was happening?
Family.
We want to know the deets.
Let us meet
we want
you.
to know the deets. Can we get a shout out for Shark Dog? Thank you so much. Tublik, thank you so much for your follow to the channel. I appreciate that. Shug was taken. Oh, so you couldn't be Shug? 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 Is it Shug or is it Shug? Shug. I think like, hey Shug, like, you know, sugar. Painting some miniatures? I don't have the eyeballs for that anymore. I don't have the eyeballs. You're from Budapest. Soon bedtime. How many hours different are you? We are, what time is it here right now? We are 1:30 in the afternoon here right now. So you're probably about 9:30 or 10:30. But welcome on in. I'm happy to have you here. I love, love, love the fact that Twitch brings us all together from all over the planet. I think that is fantastic. 10:35. Okay, so yeah, you guys are quite a ways away. My daughter lived in Sweden for 7.5 years. And so she would send me messages in her morning time, which I would get in the evening time by the time I got home from work. And then I would send her a message and she'd get it in the morning. So we were always leapfrogging through our messages over there. Are you sure it's not you, Damien? Are you sure? Are you sure? 10:35 for you as well. Are you over? So you're over in the EU as well, man? Thank you for coming over here. It's lovely to have you guys. We like all the new family. We love all the new family. Potato soup though, right? That's like the best stuff ever. So I am going to, well, let's move this first this way. So my potato soup has texture to it. It's a little bit on the creamy side, and then it's also got some, oh hey, he's here raking my fields. And I know a lot of you don't know what that means. I live in a rural area of Oregon. And to understand, so you guys understand what some people call my plight, but I call it my joy. It's all about perspective. Life is all about perspective. Is the nearest department store for me. For me to go to Target, I have to drive for 1 hour and 45 minutes to go to a Target. I don't have department stores. I don't have restaurants I can go to for dinner, so I have to cook. I can drive into the shorter town, but that's a 30-minute drive just one way to go into town for where I have to go grocery shopping. And the restaurants there are, they're not like fancy restaurants. We have an Applebee's, we have a Red Robin, and then we have like mom and pop places. So yeah, so I don't, and I thought I was gonna miss it when I moved up here. I thought, oh my gosh, I was at Target every single week. And when we first moved up here, I drove to Target every single week. And I was like, I am done doing this after like 2 weeks. Oh, I gotta turn on my fan. After about 2 weeks, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that drive anymore. And I stopped doing that drive. And then I'm like, I don't miss it anymore. Why did Derek unplug my fan? He's fired. I love that man to the moon and back, but there we go. But he is fired. So I live on a 7.5 acre ranch. And so we mow the front part a little tiny bit. We have a little riding tractor. And the back area is about 6 acres. And so
Come
that
meet
gets
our
mowed,
family.
raked,
Let
and
us
baled.
meet
And that we use for animals and stuff like that. Thank you for that follow, Shug. I appreciate that so very much. I think this past week I forgot to go to Target. Target, as some of them say. You're going to go to Target. By the way, our finishing salt for this, so for those who have not been here before, I make all of my own seasoned salts. So this is a shiitake mushroom seasoned salt, and you can see my salts over there. So we have a black lava salt. We have a sriracha spicy salt. We have, this is done with red chili flakes, lime zest, and salt. I think one of the most unique salts that we have that I make is vanilla salt. Now I know what you're thinking, Kanara, what in the heck are you using vanilla salt on? So we've all talked about salty sweet. If you're doing caramels and you want to have, how you put that little tiny bit of salt on top of your caramel, this is a vanilla salt. This is also good if you have like a cinnamon roll. And we're just talking minute amounts minute amount. And just a little tiny bit of that on your cinnamon roll. You get that warm vanilla flavor and that salt that kind of counteracts that really sweet cream cheese frosting that we put over the top. It is so easy to do. Zandroid, thank you for your follow. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, and Zero, you had asked about the talk show thing that we talked about doing. I'm just letting these potatoes sit there a little bit longer to kind of get tender. So I do the cooking streams on Sundays and Wednesdays, which I absolutely love to do. This is my element. This is my forte. And then I started dabbling. I hadn't had a gaming computer in years, like 15 years. I haven't had a computer that I could play games on. And then this community, oh my gosh, when I put the goal up for getting a new PC, this community just lit up and just showed the love like something I have never seen before in my entire life. So now I have a gaming PC. And so I got hooked on it. And I forgot what I was talking about that. Oh, there we go. Back squirrel. I've got 17 conversations going on at once. And so now we've been doing games on Fridays. And I giggle at myself harder than anybody else. And so I thought about, I've never been in a real American ranch. I've always seen in the movies and theaters.
Let us meet you.
They're a lot like what you see, just big open land. So I have no houses over here. This is 180 acres of cattle grazing property. And that gets also mowed and baled and rolled and gets processed. And once that happens, the cattle are brought back in. They get to graze on the new chutes that are coming up. About 75 head of cattle are out there. But yeah, I absolutely love it. Mom, Boss Lady, it's good to see you over there. Ivy the Simp, thank you for your follow. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I love it. I absolutely love it. You're very charismatic. Oh, Sandroid, thank you. That's such a nice thing to say. I appreciate that. I love talking. I've got the gift of the blarney. I can sit there and talk and gab with anybody about pretty much about any subject. But I've been a talker my entire life. But Zero, what we were thinking about doing was, usually there's 4 weeks in a month, and on Fridays I was doing my gaming streams. I thought that I'd do a gaming stream, and then I want to do a talk show. And so we've been kind of bouncing around some names and stuff here today, in that where people can reach out to me, well, they do anyway, in Discord, and hey, Kanara, I've got this issue with my boss and whatever, and I've given advice on how to address that. Now, I will make this disclaimer 1,000 times. It will also be automatic in the chat. My mods will be able to trigger the disclaimers. I am not a licensed therapist. That is not my job. If you are in crisis and you're thinking about self-harm or terrible depression, you need to reach out to somebody who can get you the help that you need and that you deserve. Okay? I cannot help you with things on certain, but everyday life things that happen, like I have no idea how to even talk to this person at my job, or somebody said something and it really offended me, or how do I handle bad customer service, and all this kinds of. These are the type of things I thought that we would bring to the discussion. So in my Discord, !Discord, is hello Jiyoung, good to see you. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Eating dinner while on break from teaching. I love that. Don't be late. Don't be late. No, I've been so distracted. Is that an Aga stove? No, this is a 1934 Magic Chef stove. So she's been around for many, many years. She's over 88 years old. I'm not quite that old yet. I haven't had her since she was brand new. But she's a workhorse, and I love her to death.
Come meet our family. Let us meet you.
Pichichi Milichi? Am I pronouncing that right? Did I even get close on that?
Come meet our family. Let us
meet you. Your follow. Or Rummerage. If I get your name wrong, please let me know. Reading can sometimes be hard, and some of you come up with some very, very clever names indeed. So please let me know if I'm pronouncing them incorrectly. So I thought what we would do is that you guys could send me a private message of what you would like me to help you walk through, maybe. Only because, let's face it, you can look at the hair color. I think you can see that I've been around for a while. I've been through a lot of case scenarios. I've got an older child. I've been married for over 37 years, and I've got a lot of stuff that I can share with y'all. How's the weather right now? It is a little bit hazy here because we do have a fire. We do have one big fire that's burning here in Oregon, and of course it gets into the jet stream and everything. It was very cool this morning and overcast, but we're supposed to be in, I think, the mid 80s today. Lots of knowledge, I'm sure, and maybe knowledge you didn't think you needed. Now I will say this. If you come to me with something, this will be, there are times when I've rolled my eyes hard enough that my daughter in Los Angeles has heard me. So, and I will be honest, I'll tell you, you know what? You were wrong. And I'll call you on it. I'm not going to call you on it in a bad way. I'm not going to call you a bad person. Heavens to Murgatroyd, no. We all make mistakes. Heaven knows I have as well. We all make mistakes. It's rainy here. Oh, I would take that rain. Oh, Texas does get warm. Texas does get warm. There's fires everywhere. Lingor, thank you for your hydrate. Lee Mandy, hello. How are you doing today? Why did I say Lee? La. Okay, hang on. We gotta get some more water here. I'm a big water drinker. I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning because let's face it, you don't need this on more than 1 cup of coffee. So I thought we would do, I've seen my therapist today, new one, I really like him. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And I will tell you right now, a lot of times people don't like to talk about being in therapy or seeing a therapist or because it makes them feel like people are going to look at me as though I am weak, and that is not the case. It takes a lot of strength to say, hey, I need help. That's a huge thing. Huge thing. And if I can provide insight to things, but like I said, based on whatever your situation is, I may have to tell you that is way out of my wheelhouse. Way out of my wheelhouse. But therapy is wonderful. I just love these cooking streams. Lamandy, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So wait, says they won't what? Help or listen? Oh, goodness gracious. No. Wait, see new messages. There we go. That's a very closed mindset. But the thing with that, so if I had to talk to your dad, the thing with that is right now he is a raw walnut. And if any of you have ever seen or held a raw walnut in your hand, you know how hard they are to open. It is work, just like a hazelnut. But it's a lot of work to open up a raw walnut. It's got this huge casing around it, and you have to wait for that to dry, and that has to split open. Then you got to get the walnut, and that has to dry. It's a lot of work, but that's how you approach that. If I walked up to him and said, you know what, you're wrong. Therapy helps. Neener. He's going to look at me and shake his head. He's not going to be open to that conversation. You have to come in from around the side. You've got to kind of walk in slowly with those kind of conversations on there. And that's how you reach people. You're never going to reach people with a hammer. That doesn't mean that there are some that need to have the sense knocked into them, but that's a term, not a literal thing that we would do. Gosh, I hope